It's like, seriously, what's the point of growing an audience if you're not gonna actually have a relationship with them and they're never gonna be buying from you or becoming a lead or an actual fan that is gonna tell everybody about what you have to offer and then having a transformation from the work that you do? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Hey guys, Camila Gornia here. Welcome back to Heart Behind Hustle TV. I wanted to take you a little bit behind the scenes today of what I'm doing in my business because I decided to do a little campaign, if you will, that got some interest from people and a few people wanted me to actually make a video and talk about my process for cleaning up my Instagram account from those followers and just cleaning up the whole thing. And I wanted to basically give you a little bit of insight around why I'm doing it and how I'm approaching the process. So if you're interested in doing the same, hopefully this will help. When I first started my Instagram, I wasn't super committed to it for the first, year and a half or whatever, or 2 years for that business, Heart Behind Hustle one. So being the crazy scientist, experimenter, marketing crazy person that I am, I love to try different strategies, different plans, different things that you can do to grow or scale or, whatever, because that's just how I am. And as a business coach and marketing coach, I feel like I should be doing that so that I could actually inform my clients on how things work that everybody talks about. So that's kind of like my job, to try different things. So you probably have seen a lot of agencies or softwares that will promise you that you're going to get, tons of real followers on your Instagram. They're going to grow it for you. It's going to be super cheap. And, you're not paying for likes. You're not paying for followers. You're just, you're paying for them to grow your Instagram account with real people, supposedly. So I obviously never was like, okay, let me buy likes or let me buy, I'm not into fake anything. I'm not into fake followers or vanity numbers. I talk about that all the time. So I wanted to grow a real following with real people while just posting here and there, but not really fully engaging, commitment wise. And I was like, okay, well, hopefully I'll get that up to like 10,000 followers so that the few times that I do Instagram stories, I can have the swipe up feature and, people can just go to the pages I want them to go to. And so I actually used a couple of those different softwares, and what I noticed is that they were using a lot of the follow and follow method, and they were doing a lot of the liking a whole bunch of posts and then posting like a random comment on there that's just like emojis or something, like not real engagement. And my Instagram did grow. I actually they grew it to about 7,000 followers. And it seems nice, except then I started to get into it about 3 months ago. And I'm like, great, I have 7,000 followers. This is awesome. Like, great, now I can just focus on it and like have fun with it. And I started to do more Instagram stories because I do love Instagram stories, but I noticed that I was getting barely any reach. Barely anyone was seeing my Instagram stories. And I was like, what the heck is going on? I have 7,000 followers. Why are people not seeing my stories? Like, what's going on here? And I actually decided I did a little bit of research on like, why might this be happening? Why am I not getting that many people? I would get more people seeing my Instagram stories on my personal account, which has like 2,500 followers maybe. And I would get like twice or three times as many views on that one. So it's like something's totally off. And I did find a study that said typically accounts under 10,000 followers should be getting about 10% of those followers to see their Instagram stories and posts and things like that, which is not at all what was happening. So I started to ask myself, what is going on? And I actually talked to Alex Beaton a little bit, who's an Instagram story expert. And I told her about my situation and she asked, have you been using these softwares or have you been, doing anything that Instagram kind of frowns on? Because Instagram doesn't like us using third-party tools or anything that logs into Instagram and does things on your behalf, such as those agency growth kind of platforms, So at first I was like, no, I don't think I am, but because I canceled that service a while ago. And I was like, wait a second, but this is how I grew my account. A lot of them were using follow and follow, all that stuff. So I was like, well, this is definitely a problem. Then I started to do a little bit more research, and this word of ghost follower came about. And apparently ghost followers are followers that are following you, but they're either a fake account or they're a special account for, that are just like following a whole bunch of people and not really ever engaging with them. They might be even muting those posts, so they will never see your posts ever in their feed. Or they're just people that like no longer using Instagram, or their spam accounts, whatever. They're just like people that are not seeing your account. They're never engaging with you. That's a problem, because the way that the Instagram algorithm works is very similar to Facebook, where you create a post, or you create you put something out there, and at first Instagram is gonna share it to people's feeds, a certain percentage of basically your feed, like a small percentage, and then based on how that percentage of people responds to that post, if they click on it, if they like it, if they comment, whatever, then they're gonna be like, okay, well, this is apparently a good post. We're going to share it with more people. Totally makes sense, right? So if I have a bunch of people that have followed my account only because I have followed them first, and they're thinking it's a follow for follow type of thing, even though we unfollowed them and I cleaned up my account really I really cleaned it up. I only have like a certain amount of followings. So people that I follow that I just actually want to see and I actually want to connect with and stuff like that, versus just a bunch of random people, because I didn't want to have a whole bunch of people that I'm following either. And, but anyways, so I was like, well, a lot of these people are probably doing the same exact thing. They're not really on Instagram that much. They're just using these social media platforms to grow their account, but they're not really like fully, invested in the platform to create relationships, which is what I want to do. And they might be muting my posts, right? So they might be following, but then muting my posts just to, I don't know why they would do that, but that's some people I feel like might be doing that. And also Instagram might be seeing those followers as low quality followers because they're following a whole bunch of people and they're using the follow system thing. And it's like, well, this is not a real authentic follower. They didn't follow you because they saw your content, thought you were great. They followed you because this is just like how the thing works, right? So I'm like, crap, what if they're thinking that's the case for me? Because that's what the platform was doing, right? So it's like, am I being seen as a low quality follower account, whatever, because we were doing that thing? So I stopped using those softwares, a couple months ago, probably 5 months ago, 4 months ago, but I'm still seeing the effects of it. So this is particularly whenever I do an Instagram story, like I said. So, and I'm like, well, I think I need to just remove some of the followers. I need to make sure that the people that are following me are people that actually want to be there. They don't have my posts muted. They're actually engaging with my stuff. And this was really sparked. I knew I was on the right path after I saw two videos, multiple videos, but especially a video from Hey Dominic, which I'll link below, and from Jasmine Star. And, they talked about ghost followers and removing ghost followers and why it's important to do so. I found that to be extremely helpful. So thank you guys if you're watching for those videos. And I decided to do the thing. There are 3 different ways that you can typically remove ghost followers. You can either hire an agency to do it, where they'll kind of do their thing. And this is what actually Hey Dominic does this. You can do it manually by hand, just going, follower, and then kind of checking them out, and you won't know if they're a ghost follower, except, unless they look super fake and stuff. But or you can use a third-party software. There's a lot of apps out there. They'll block the followers. So I actually decided to go for a mixture of option 2 and 3. So I did at first start using this app, and what it does is all about unfollowing. But the problem with this was it wasn't working very well, and Instagram frowns on using third-party tools. So I didn't want to keep using third-party tools. I really wanted everything to happen within Instagram, so I wasn't penalized further. And also this app was the whole process of it is that they're going to block people. And apparently anytime that you block a whole bunch of people at once, that kind of triggers some orange or red flags for Instagram that you might be doing something fishy. And I definitely didn't want to get, any of those flags triggered. I wanted to be very, all the green flags, give me all the green flags so my stuff is actually seen by people. So instead, I wanted to make sure, first of all, that I knew who those ghost followers were. So I did need some kind of an app that would tell me. And I decided to use Followers Pro for Instagram. And this will basically show you, these are the people that are your worst followers that have never commented, have never engaged, and that kind of stuff. And then what I would do is I would look at each of these people that are popping up there and then go into Instagram and look, find them in my followers and look at them and then decide what I want to do with them. When it comes to my focus for removing people, what I decided to do is, number one, I wanted to remove accounts that are very obviously fake. So people that have no profile pictures, no bios, no followers, or like a gigantic amount of people that they're following, but there's not many that are or they have like a private account, and they don't have a lot, like it just looks like a spam account. Like definitely want to remove those. Secondly, I wanted to remove any random dudes that were following me from the Middle East. No offense if you live there and you're like an awesome guy. I probably didn't remove you if you're following me, if you're an entrepreneur and you're like doing cool things. But there were actually a lot of people that were just like, they still looked like fake accounts. They had pictures, they had followers, but like they lived in, like India and, all those other countries. And those people are just not my target audience. They're not my ideal clients. So sorry, but you're never going to buy from me. So what's the point? Thirdly, I wanted to also remove random men that were following me because clearly I'm a woman and, it seems like that's the only reason why. They weren't entrepreneurs. They weren't coaches. They weren't trying to learn from me. They were just like old dudes that were like there for some reason. I don't really want that either. Now, obviously, if you're a guy, like I'm not like anti-guy. I work with men in my business, right? But, I work with men that have businesses or are coaches or, like people that actually want to work with me because I can do amazing things for them in their business, in their marketing, not because of how I look or, whatever. Not even gonna go there. And fourth, I also wanted to remove accounts that have not engaged with me at all, like no comments or likes, like I said, but have been following me for a while. So if they're a newer follower, this app doesn't really tell you when they followed you, but I could, I tried to kind of figure it out, I guess, on my own, use my gut feeling on that. And anybody that had like a really big number of people that they were following, like it's clearly that it's a real account, it's a real person, they have pictures and stuff like that, but they're following like, over 5,000 people or 6,000 people, like, they're not going to see my account in their feed anyways, especially if they haven't engaged with me yet. Like they're probably not going to, because they probably just muted me. I don't know why they're following that many people, but they're probably going to be able, like, I'm probably going to remove them too, especially if they're not an ideal client either. Like they're, some random account that's like it's a woman, but it's like a med student or something like that. Or, a mom that just like posts about her kids the entire time and doesn't have a business. Like, not an ideal client. If you're following 6,000 people, like, that's kind of pointless too. So that was the process that I used. And something else that I was doing too is I started actually searching for like, so I would start searching for like guy names and anything that would come up in my Instagram as I was searching for each account. If something else came up, I would check them out and remove them, even if they didn't necessarily pop up on my ghost followers thing, because there's a lot of ghost followers. I ran some reports on my account and it seemed that I had like 3.5K quality followers. So I'm like, I want to get down to those 3.5K followers that are quality and then, get rid of everybody else because I feel like my engagement will actually increase. So I've been really focusing on engagement, creating a lot of amazing value in my Instagram stories. I have seen my Instagram story views increase a little bit because I've already started removing people. I've started removing people for the last like week or so. But last, I just wanted to let you know, like, I didn't want to blindside people because I know that sometimes people are lurkers and, I wanted to make sure that people had the opportunity to stick around and not be removed if they haven't engaged with me. So I basically, created a post on my feed that was just like a picture. And I basically talked about like, hey, by the way, like I might be deleting you soon if you haven't engaged with me. So if you want to stick around, make sure that you engage with this post, like comment or like, because otherwise I might be removing you. And honestly, this was one of my most popular posts. I had a lot of likes and a lot of comments. People wanted to stick around, which is awesome. And it actually inspired a lot of you guys on doing the same with removing your ghost followers. So this is why I'm making this video as well right now. That's what I did there to make sure people were like up to date. And then I don't have to feel bad about removing people because it's like, well, if you didn't engage with me, I warned you. So that's just what happened. So that's what I'm in the process of now. So I'm going to try to get down to, maybe 3.5K followers. We'll see, maybe less. We'll kind of see what happens with that. And I'm going to go through all these processes of removing these people. And hopefully it's going to work. I think it will. I'm not very attached to how many followers I have. I kind of got over the whole thing of like getting the swipe up feature. because it's like, what's the point of getting the swipe up feature if no one's seeing my stories anyways, right? So yeah, that's what's going on in my world. I'm curious to know about you. Have you had the same experience? Have you tried this follow unfollow like agency growth thing that kind of messed up your account where now you're not getting as much engagement? I'm curious to hear your experience and your story, and if you'd like, let me know below and just let me know your experience, and I will make sure if you're interested, I'll do a recap of like once I've done it, if I've seen any results, and basically, if I think that this whole process is worth it. So thank you so much for hopping on. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, because like I said, I release all the videos all the time, all about entrepreneurship and marketing. And again, you're awesome, and hopefully you're focusing on creating quality relationships that actually lead to sales or leads or transformation in some way, versus just blind followers that are not really real, that are just giving you a vanity ego boost. Like, no, that's not what we're into. So thanks for hopping on, and I'll see you in the next video.